The purchase of Newcastle United Football Club by PIF in 2021 made huge international news. It was the latest in a line of Middle Eastern investments into the world's top football clubs. Brokering this deal and many others, including the takeover of Manchester City in 2008, was Amanda Staveley, a British business person with a long-established tie to this region.
I flew over the Gulf and just fell in love.
Amanda, thank you for joining us. We'll get to the football, we'll get to the end, but let's start at the beginning. It's always a very good place to start, and what your route into business was.
So I was very fortunate that I had a lot of support from my university. I was very entrepreneurial, very driven. I kind of found that I wanted to push and get out of the university system quite quickly, and they ended up backing my second business venture, which I opened a restaurant at 19 years old. And that actually taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about customer service, great brand, hard work, resilience, and then Trinity College backed my second conference centre. And that enabled me to, we raised a lot of money with the college. I convinced them to put a lot of money into this conference centre, and that sort of brought me to the Middle East because some of our investors flew over and saw what I'd done in the UK. So we became from becoming an entrepreneur, I then moved into investment and realised that was where my passion lay.
And having made those contacts in the Middle East in your business at home, is that what persuaded you to go to Dubai? You thought, right, that's where I need to go to next because I've already got a core of investors there that I know.
Yeah, I first came because we had the chance to go over. Abu Dhabi invited me over. His Highness invited me over to the region very early. I flew over the Gulf and just fell in love. I mean, and what excited me was that it was such a young country, the Emirates, in terms of, it was the same age as I was. I didn't speak any Arabic, which was really difficult. You didn't have these amazing conferences like this where you could meet somebody. You had to do a lot of feet on the ground work to sort of build. So yes, that's really one of the first reasons I came to the Emirates and then to Saudi.
So what was the driver to setting up PCP, or was it the next natural stage to what you were doing?
So in 2008, I advised Sheikh Mansour, His Highness, on the purchase of Manchester City. The year before, in 2007, we'd been looking at Liverpool Football Club. We've been looking at one of your favourite clubs as well. I won't say which one, but anyway. And we couldn't actually buy Liverpool. We did manage to buy Man City, fell in love with that, but then I invested $3.5 billion into Barclays Bank, and we recapitalized the bank at a time when the global markets were in free fall. So there was, CDS, the Lehman crisis, the world, and it was actually what I found that was a catalyst to enabling us to grow our private equity business. So one successful deal enabled us to go in and convince other people, right, this is what we want to do, and we're good.
And when the Newcastle opportunity came along, did you think the work I did to broker the Man City deal was great, but I wasn't involved on a day-to-day basis? If I were to do this again, I want to be involved day-to-day. Was that very much the thinking when the Newcastle opportunity came along?
Yes. We fell in love with the club. We went there. It was just immediate. I mean, you've been to St James's, you can feel that tingly feeling that goes through your body. And it was unloved. It is the most special place. So with a bit of investment, but it was incredibly hard work. And we knew we'd have to work. We had no team. We were 19th. We just had a manager that wouldn't come to the training ground at the time. And what we had to do is really roll off our sleeves up, focus. I was chief executive with my husband, and we looked after the director of football role as well, alongside our PIF colleagues. And a very small team, alongside the Rubin family, had to run the club on a day-to-day basis.
How hard was it to leave?
Impossible, really tough. And still is, actually, because you love the club so much. I love my PIF colleagues a great deal. It was a very difficult decision. But one thing we knew when we looked at Newcastle we walked into Newcastle, we knew that the right partner was PIF, and there was only ever one. Newcastle and PIF to me were a perfect combination. So I knew that they would be and are such amazing custodians. So I knew that we had the same vision, and His Excellency wants, to win. He is so ambitious for the club, and so I feel that the fans are very lucky because they have incredible partners.
You're quite rare, although the good news is not as rare as it used to be, as a female top-level executive in football. Why aren't there more?
I don't know, actually. I think there's more, and traditionally it was a male environment. I mean, I was, even in my Premier League meetings initially, there aren't as many women, but there are many, many more women in sport now across all sectors, and that's so exciting for us. And it will continue to do. But equally so, I'm not a feminist. I think women have to prove themselves, and we all have to be judged equally. And just because you're a woman doesn't mean you need to get a job. You have to be the best person at that job. And what we got at PIF, and what I found, especially with His Excellency, is they supported myself and my husband. And it didn't matter that I was a woman, or it was, that I could do the best job.
PIF and you were always associated with Newcastle when it comes to sport, but obviously golf as well. What's your role and your story in the golf one?
Massive fan of golf, and a big fan of LIV, and a big fan of the PGA. So I think what I was trying to do with my role there was to bring great people together, and that was really important. And to see golf itself flourish. I mean, just as in football, we all have to remember that sport needs challenge, and it needs disruption sometimes to excite viewership. But we mustn't be complacent. We must always strive to build the best product, whether that's in golf or football. It's an honor to work with PIF and to work with our colleagues there, so we're there to support them whenever they need.
Amanda, let's finish with where you are today, and you've been raising money for a sport fund today, which makes people think, does she want to go back into football? Might we see you in football again?
I think you might. I hope so, with inshallah. But we're doing our new sports and media fund, which we're really excited about, and that's not just focused on football, that will be focused on all assets and all sports.
Amanda, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mark. That was great. Thank you. I appreciate that.